How you doing today? This is Jason and little rap we got going on. You gotta listen to it.
Just the other night, my mind was racing, chasing around thoughts of this fucked up nation. It's like rain on my brain. It's all insane. We keep pointing our fingers and can't come up with names. All this knowledge I have locked upstairs, if only I could root out all these tears, I wouldn't feel so hypocrite to stand up and speak. But I'm weak, and the rage inside, it's at its peak. So fuck hypocrisy, because here it goes. Besides, I'm just another poet that nobody knows. I was watching CNN, people protesting the war, and it's the same one we fought only years before. And why? They claim conspiracy and say it's all about oil. The U.S. politics with the British royal. I thought Tony Blair made it pretty clear. He said the UN would regulate it, but people block their ears. Instead, they'd rather believe things like our government conspires to lie about aliens and tap our home phone wires. Like the government wants to waste all their time tracking you, as though they're interested in all the stupid-ass shit you do. Here's the real deal. What about immigration? And who do all these fucking Muslims in our peaceful nation, influencing America with that twisted religion that appeals to our dark side with accurate precision? Claiming Allah is peaceful only disguises the lie because the Quran says to kill us all in Surah 9:5. Now most of the blacks and Hispanics and whites have changed their religion and fought for the right to stand in our own streets burning the red, white, and blue, made legal by our own courts and your taxes too. But if you can't stand for our freedom, then listen up, traitors. Go back to Iraq and live under some tyrant dictator. You know, the problem doesn't stop at dictators alone. We got a lot of problems right here at home. For instance, who relaxed the original meaning of our U.S. Constitution and opened up this New World institution where homosexuals can adopt and raise up our kids genderly neutral, and then, God forbid, you'd raise your hand later against outright rebellion. We're forced to ignore the violence in these teenage hellions. The child becomes the parent the child, while the teenagers get pregnant, pretentious, and wild. But you'll buy them a cell phone, a car, and a beeper, and pretend not to notice when the shit gets deeper. And look where it's getting us. The crime rate is climbing, and you grow slack and sit back complaining and whining. It's the public's best interest when they let their thoughts linger, and the brief afterthoughts of a show like Jerry Springer. Divorce is made easy when you have no convictions, because love has become an online porno addiction, and you wonder how our culture is so fucked up. You degenerate assholes, you poured out this cup. You planted the seeds, and generations will follow your lead. You can suture the wound in, but it's still going to bleed. Believing you're right, but deep down you know you're not, because your entire belief system is totally shot. And one day when your life is crippled and beat, and the doctors have taken you off of your feet, you'll sit back to think about all of your accomplishments in life, only to be full of regrets and sorrow and strife. Your children may have died by then from a war you protested, while chemicals and gas leave our nation molested, hair falling out, and while you cough and queeze as radiation seeps through your skin with ease. So go ahead then, sit back and relax in your radiological suit, and reap the rewards of your supposed peaceful pursuit. But as for me, I must stand up and shout that somebody needs to take these dictators out. Because the only thing that stands between us and them is the local law enforcement, a few good men. But what in the fuck are they fighting for with you panty waist pukes protesting the war? Do you not remember it wasn't very long ago there was a man just like Saddam, who we all know, to the ranks of Germany, who was their victor, the devil incarnate Adolf Hitler. Nobody thought he was crazy enough. Ignoring the warnings, they called it a bluff. When Winston Churchill warned with shouts, they considered him the threat and threw him out. Till those Nazi bastards proved sinister, then they begged him back and made him prime minister. Now history repeats itself, and there you sit, thinking tolerance is going to put an end to it. But what in the hell do you know about Iraq, and how can you say that these guys won't attack? You know, I think America isn't used to facing their fears. The only guts they seem to have is in Boone's Farm and cheap malt beer. But one point for you protesters who don't want to shoot them, I agree. I say just fuck it, let's nuke them.
And there you have it. Another brother telling the truth.